Hey creators, welcome back to the club. The Black Creators Club is the go-to resource for Black movers and shakers in Hollywood, reactions to the latest pop culture tea, and our own entertainment pursuits. You know us, you love us. We are on episode 4. Get into it if you haven't. Hey, Ebony girl, we're going to talk about so much today, and I'm so ready. I mean, we're going to be giving you our 2 cents on the top entertainment stories of the week before moving into our Gotta Be Entertained section, where we talk about shows that we're watching, movies that we're watching, and things that you can't miss. And then finally, we'll talk about the latest in Black excellence news. But before then, we always start with our Maven to Maven check-in. So, Ebony, how are you doing? How was your week?
Girl, good. Hey. I'm really good. My week was crazy and busy as per usual, but again, my weekend was even busier. I was
okay, girl.
Listen, okay, we did a boat this weekend, okay, a little Duffy.
Yes.
Wait, what? It was a Duffy boat. So it's like one of those little ones, you know? It was so much fun. I was celebrating my friend's birthday. And we, we're on the water. Oh my gosh. First of all, this guy hit us like he was on his boat going opposite traffic. Okay. And then
so you tell me you just got a free trip? Okay.
Right. And then had the nerve to cuss at us. Like it was our fault. We were like, oh okay,
no. Sir. Not today, not ever.
We were in Newport. So, sometimes you just got to, where you were at. You know what I'm saying? We're at Newport. A lot of Trump flags everywhere. It was a lot.
Oh, okay.
It was that kind of party. So we were like, okay, like you just have a problem. That's your problem.
Yes.
And then I spent the night at her house. We celebrated her birthday. And then I did, y'all, I'm over here checking things off my bucket list because I did a little music video.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. Are you a music girl? What's going on, Video Vixen? What's happening?
Yes, so that was my weekend, and now I'm up doing this recording for our Black Creators Club, serving you Diana Ross realness today. Okay, red lip, big hair, red top, just coming through with it, boo.
Killing it. I love to see it, literally.
Yes. How are you, Akila, my amazing
girl? Thank you, boo. I mean, this week, I should say, has been pretty hectic, but in the best way. I'm moving, and moving is like, moving is such a stress, especially moving in the summer. I mean, literally transporting these boxes from point A to point B in the heat. It's like, it makes you remember how much stuff you have and what you want to get rid of, thinking of downsizing. But honestly, I think the biggest piece for me is it's going to be my first time moving into my own place. Like I've always had a roommate, obviously lived at home when I was younger and everything. But now it's like, let me step up, let me live in my own place. I didn't want to do this at first when I first moved out here to LA, but now I feel like I'm officially ready. And so it's an exciting time, just packing up and like getting that together. And that has been a wild journey, but also fun. Like, I mean, this is what you're seeing now, just like, chill at my top doing this episode, but surrounding me is boxes. Like literally it's crazy. But that's been the majority, or the highlight, I should say, of my week. It's exciting, and I can't wait to show you how it looks. We'll do more episodes there.
Girl, I can't wait to come over and see it too. So I'm so excited. Girls moving on up. So
there we go. But literally that's been the majority of my week. But honestly, between the beginning of this weekend, or actually Friday, I should say, is when it kind of took a turn with finding out about Chadwick Boseman. It's kind of been, there's certain deaths or there's certain things that just hit you a different way. And I don't know if it's because of the pandemic or the fact that we're all here, or the fact of like Wakanda forever. You're kind of feeling like, in the midst of Black Lives Matter, this, epitome of someone who personified like a Black king, literally played a Black king, passed away. Like, it's crazy to think about what happened. And, seeing the outpouring of support is amazing, but also it's been like, it's tough. This year is like for the birds. This year is crazy.
I have to say, I think the Black community in general, how we've been taking L's left and right when it comes to, even starting in 2019, right, with like Nipsey Hussle, and then continuing that into Kobe Bryant, and now Chadwick Boseman. Like, there's just all of these amazing Black leaders showing Black excellence, being there for your family, you know, married, having your children, building economic wealth, and in the Black community. All of these amazing things we see, like all of those leaders are being taken away, and it kind of feels very much so like, it's difficult. I feel like it's definitely hard to get through. And then on top of that, we have the Black Lives Matter movement, right? With like all of these other amazing other Black males being murdered on camera. So
and women and LGBTQ plus, right?
everyone, it's I don't know. I'm speechless because I just feel like we, out of everyone else, I feel like we're taking the biggest L's.
The biggest L's.
I don't know.
And it just makes me think of, like, you know, I mean, Marvin Sapp, amazing. Like, he's one of my favorite recording artists in general. And just like, I forget the actual lyric, but it's something on the realm of, I must be close to my victory. I must be close to it because here comes trials, here comes, you know, adversity, here comes everything hitting us. So I think we as a people are on the cusp of our come up, because there's no reason why we're consistently faced with this and consistently having to kind of heal ourselves after just experiencing so much, like, outward trauma, also internal trauma. Obviously, like, life situations, life happens, death happens, we get it. But the continuation of all this, I know we're close to something great. We've got to be, because there's no other explanation. And there's, at least for me, it helps me to at least look at this from a more glass half full perspective, because I'm also thinking of the fact that his family and his team, like, kept this under wraps. The fact that TMZ, they sniff out everything.
They are like the first to break the story at any point in time. I mean, when Kobe passed away, it was like, I was like, wait,
the family didn't even know.
The family didn't even know. They knew before the family knew. Like, that was the crazy thing. So, like, the fact, you're right. And I was just like, he has the tightest team. He was suffering for 4 years. Nobody knew. That's why I feel like for everyone else, like, this is such a shock. Like, you know, thank God he was at home with his family. Thank God, like, they were there to, like, be there and support him, of course. But it's like, for all of us, we were like, wait, what the heck? And then apparently, you know, everyone noticed how skinny he was getting and was like making fun of him for being so slender. Little did they know that he was suffering.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, you know, it's a double-edged sword, because part of me is kind of like, wow, he didn't even talk about, he didn't feel the need to, you know, get sympathy or whatever. I remember even last year, I think it was October or November-ish time, like the Revolt Summit, and going there, and he was one of the folks who spoke. And amazing speaker. Like, everyone was just commenting on how, first of all, how beautiful he is, but also just like his commentary, his comedic jokes, like his energy was amazing. But just the fact that he never once felt the need to share it, and it was at the top of his game throughout these 4 years, like, you know, acting and everything. And it's just, you know, and I see a lot of folks talking about that being a great character trait, but I don't want to minimize the idea that, you know, folks shouldn't talk about these kind of things, because I'm almost like it's even better for you to just bring out the fact, like, hey, I'm sick, but I'm doing what needs to be done, like, you know, versus no one knowing. To each his own. That's your own decision. But I kind of feel like, why not talk about it? You know, why not bring it up? Because it's something that affects folks every day.
I totally agree. I mean, I feel like maybe it's like a need to, you know, be private. There's so many things that are so open and out there as is. So I feel like that one thing that's so personal, he probably wanted to keep that to himself and just, you know, not even suffer in silence, because I'm sure obviously his family knew. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he had that support. I don't feel like I think maybe he felt like that would hinder his roles or hinder what was coming to him. I mean, during Black Panther, like, that was 3 years ago.
I think so.
Right?
2017? 2018?
2017. So that means he had it then. Well, he was doing that entire intense movie. Okay.
Yeah.
He had cancer, and to even think that he pushed through it, to think he was at the Met Gala, to think he was at like, all of these things, all these other roles
Oscars.
That he continued to push for. And he had cancer the entire time, and nobody knew. And like, you know, I feel like the dead giveaway most of the time is like you lose your hair. And
yeah,
he seemed very like hair healthy. The only thing was that he got really skinny. So it was like, you know, but I feel like, just to bring it back to the point of like, I just think he wanted to like keep one thing a little bit more
to
private
himself.
because the
thing is, I'm sure folks knew. I'm sure the studio, because they would have to rearrange timing. I think there was an article that came out some time ago that they were looking to cast a new T'Challa, but then they kind of took it down. So I think, you know, folks definitely knew, but like you said, it's kind of, it didn't have to be a worldwide thing, but I just didn't want to harp on the fact that folks are saying, oh my gosh, you see, you know, he didn't play the victim. It's like people who come out and say that they have cancer or, you know, are open about their sicknesses are not victimizing that. It's more so that's part of their life now. Like that's what it is. So, but I mean, he didn't make that his focal point, which is great. I mean, we saw a lot of outpouring of support, but we also saw a lot of folks get caught in the crossfire. J-Lo being one of them, who tweeted at the time, well, around the time that folks started recognizing, oh, Chadwick Boseman is gone, tweeted out that she was unable, her and Alex Rodriguez were both unable to successfully bid for ownership of the Mets, a New York baseball team. And she got dragged for it, honey.
Girl,
she got dragged. What do you think about it, though?
You know what? I hate to always play like the conflicted card, but like this is my thing. I feel like there's always a time and place for things, obviously, and I think that was everyone's point. Like we the same day that like we hear about Chadwick Boseman, like you're tweeting about buying like $1 billion team, like you know, like decipher what you feel like is important to be tweeting to the world. We get it. Like that honestly would have been monumental to have a woman, you know, owning a team. Like, and any other day we would have liked to hear about that news, and any other day we would like to praise you if you know, yeah, J-Lo, like go and get that team, we're rooting for you. Yay. Like we're here for the woman ownership, we're here for it. Not on the day that Chadwick Boseman died. We just don't care.
Not now.
Like, it's not now.
That's my thing, because it's kind of double-edged sword. It's like, it's her page, it's her Twitter account, that's what's on her mind. She probably didn't know, because I didn't immediately know when he died. You know, a friend texted me and I had to look into it. It wasn't a thing that I automatically knew. So she probably wasn't looking around. So I get it. But I think what made it, you know, just in bad taste and like a read the room situation is because she harped on the fact that this would have been a minority owned situation. Not only that she's a woman, but like her and her husband both owning it would have been a minority owned baseball team. Read the room. If you want to, you know, cling on to the minority tagline, you need to know what's happening amongst the minority community. Like if you don't know that, and if you don't know what's going on, read the room, take it out, wait 48 hours, and then come back with it, because you still lost 48 hours later. You could talk about it then. It doesn't have to be at that moment. And I think that's what upset people, and that's, I think, what's kind of looks weird, because I don't think it's even because they also mentioned the fact that it's a pandemic happening, people are losing their jobs, people are doing whatever. I don't think that's necessarily a reason for her not to share that information. Like the world is still happening and she's getting, I think that's fine. It was more so Chadwick. Sean King, on the other hand, he also posted the fact that, you know, he had condolences for Chadwick, but also used that same moment to publish or kind of emphasize his book. And that's another thing about, like, you know, obviously folks being able to seemingly capitalize off of this moment and capitalize off the hashtags to then draw to his page and hopefully buy his book. And so folks are like, okay, Sean King, you're supposed to be all about the Black folk.
This is the thing though, right? Like
you're not.
With Sean King, I feel like he's already a very decisive character within this like Black community, rally support, whatever. People already kind of don't like him. I mean, I'm not going to take away that maybe he's done amazing things, some things, but some people kind of look at him as like a fraud. Like he's not really there to support the Black community, more out for himself, and just uses that as like, you know, his like guinea pig or his, you know, thing to use basically, you know? So people don't really like him.
I don't listen, the verdict is still out for me, but I'm trying to, you know, with so many people saying it, I'm like, let me look a little closely, who knows? But Sean King, he's a creator in a sense, so you're welcome to talk talk and share your truth on our page, on our episode, whenever you feel like it. Just
right.
holla at us. Have your
we
team
want to know
holla
more.
at us, you know?
We want to know more. But Amanda Seales posted a very tearful prayer for Chadwick Boseman. I think, again, like I said, I think everyone was super shocked by the news and no one was expecting it. So I think she is really good at sharing like her true raw emotions. And so we got a really great prayer from her. And then also Ryan Coogler, who is the director of Black Panther. He also has spoken out and gave a really amazing tribute to Chadwick.
So many people.
Michael B. Jordan has not.
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett. Michael B. Jordan has not done a post yet. And I'm not saying that as like any bad thing at all. I think, like I said, everything it's coming fast, and so I feel like he probably needs a moment to just like take it in. That was his co-star. In fact, they worked very closely together on that movie. So I think he probably just like needs a minute to really take it all in.
Which makes sense. And, you know, we all kind of need a minute at this point, not to, you know, compare the two, but just the fact that right now we're all talking about Jacob Blake as well. You know, Jacob Blake, and with Black Lives Matter, for those who may not know, you know, he was shot in the back 7 times. I don't know if it was purely his back, but his back was toward facing away from the police officers 7 times in front of his 3 children. And it was one of his son's birthday. So it was on his birthday. And now we know that he is paralyzed from the waist down. He is still in the hospital. This happened in Wisconsin, Kenosha, Wisconsin. And, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like, you know, we like to keep the show about entertainment news, Black entertainment, etc. But at the same time, this world news and Black, you know, current events affect the culture, affect the pop culture, affect entertainment. And so this is something that we kind of, you know, we have to talk about. It's a lot going on, you know, it's too much.
Agreed. Again, like I said, taking L's. I cannot with the Jacob Blake story. I feel like, I don't know. I feel very, again, another man breaking up a fight, right? Going to his car unarmed. Police, like, you do not, like, why, like, I don't understand, like, watching the video.
At point gun range.
Why are you shooting him? Like, that's what I'm like really confused. Like, did he go in the car and be like, I'm gonna get a gun? I'm like, you know what? Like, what made you want to shoot him 7 times? Like, not even 1 time, not even a warning shot, like 7 times in the back, bro. Like, he wasn't even attacking you. Like, they, you know, they always say, like, you know, if we feel an imminent threat, then that's when we'll shoot in this. But it's like, his back was to you. And I'm pretty sure whatever was happening, he was communicating. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he was upset and angry, but I'm sure he was saying what he had to say. And I don't feel like he was not like he wasn't coming at the police officers in the video.
No. And who knows what happened beforehand, but I can't say it shouldn't warrant that. It doesn't seem like a situation that warrants that, especially when you're talking about imminent threat. You have Kyle Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old teen, walking around with, I don't even know the name of a gun, but it was heavy, it was long. He shot and killed 2 people walking through the street. That is a threat. You see a man with a gun, like literally strapped around him. Yes, his hands were up, but what does that mean? What does that truly mean? Because if someone's walking away, you feel threatened. So a hand up and a gun across their chest, like, you know, you should feel something as well. And I think that's what gets people upset, because it's so blatant now. I think it's so in your face. We no longer have to say it and people deny it in a sense that, like, oh, it's in your head. What do you mean because you're Black? Like, it's in your head. Now you see it. Now they see it. So they can't necessarily deny it, but it's still nothing done. So it seems almost worse in a sense. It's like, you know, we've been telling you for decades, for centuries. Now you see it and you're still showing us in our face that you don't care. And still nothing.
That's really, that 100% is the problem. And I mean, the fact that the fact that Kyle was able to walk away with his life, you know, like, thank God Jacob is still alive, but his quality of life now is altered because of an incident that could have been avoided. And here we are, Kyle, super gun strapped to him, has his life, he's, you know, able to walk, able to breathe, able to do these things, right? Live his life. And I'm going to be excited to see what punishment, if they even give him punishment, like what the
That's
verdict
when we're
is
all kind of like, what is it going to be? Because I don't think
6 months probation. Like, what are we doing?
A civil suit, like, it's hard. It's hard because it's also like on our end too. You keep doing the same thing and expect different results. That's the definition of insanity. What else can we do that's different from what we've been doing before, to actually provoke the change that we truly want to see? And this is a question for everyone. I don't know the answers, you know, but I think something different needs to happen.
Yeah.
We see NBA teams and baseball teams walking off, and you know, granted they've come back to play, but at the same time, at least the protest there has been shown.
You know, and I think to your point, Akila, I think this is the best time. I think, like you said, right, this is what you said. You said to have something crazy happening so much, right, taking all these L's, that something great has to come from it.
Yes.
I think the best thing that's happening right now is the fact that, like, us as a Black community are rallying around each other better and, you know, stronger than ever. I feel like in past times, the Black community were always fighting against each other, right? You always see different communities, other minorities, kind of working together. Either like, you know, the whole family's living in the house, everyone's working hard, everyone's, you know, getting jobs that, you know, no one wants or whatever. Like, there's always people, are you putting the money back into their own communities? Black people, we don't do that. We haven't been doing
ready
that.
to go.
Always working against each other. We're always looking to be.
But I would say we have, in a sense. Like, yes, totally. There's an element of that. And I completely agree with you. But also that we have. Like, I think Tulsa and what happened with Tulsa, yes, it was so long ago. But that's an example of we have been doing that. But when you have, coupled with the idea of you want to do that and you've tried to do that, but when you have laws systematically put in place time and time again over the course of decades that prevent you from building the level of community that you know you want and you know you need in order to no longer be dependent on the majority, they're threatened by it. And so they put a lot of things in place that prevent you or prevent us as a community from being able to step up. Redlining, you know, owning real estate in general, literally burning down businesses, you have to, like, you know, qualify 10 times more to potentially just be in the door for certain things. We saw the recent article about, you know, even trying to appraise your home. The value of that is so much less, you know, just because you're a Black couple or a Black family, you have artifacts that show your Black culture and appreciation of it. You know, there's so many things put in place to prevent you from being there, and which makes it tough. And then on top of that, wanting to say it's your fault and your community's fault, which then doubles down in the idea of us having to then pit against each other. And I think it's not about that. You know, there's certain folks that, yes, they're very selfish. It's literally dog eat dog, crabs in a barrel. But I think for the majority, it's like you try, and yet there's so many levels put in place that are not necessarily put in place for other communities and other minorities.
Totally.
Yeah.
No,
so
I agree.
Different.
I agree with you, Akila.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's a combination of it all. I think it all works together, right? So it's like if one thing doesn't work, then you're moving on to the next level, the next level, the next level, until eventually it's like you start hating your own people because you're like, like I don't know what else to do. So I feel like it all works together in a line. But but I'm happy to see the strong community that I'm seeing right now. I'm very
proud.
Black. I'm very proud to be a part of this movement in this community into moving the step forward. I mean, obviously nothing is ever going to be perfect. We can always just work towards a better tomorrow. You know, things are going to get better till Jesus comes, but listen, that's on another episode.
It is. Yes.
But you know, actually this story that I saw on Instagram was that 19 families came together, put their money together to buy like acres of land. I cannot remember the exact number of acres of land, but it was like a huge number so that they can build a better community for Black people. And I was like, that is the
Black excellence.
I love.
That's what you got to do.
Yes.
That's what you gotta do. And we're gonna talk about that and so much more. But first, I mean, Evan, tell us where they can find us, tell us more about the show, all of that good stuff.
Yes, you guys. thank you so much for tuning in and continuing to tune in, because we are on episode 4, week 4. We could not be doing any of this stuff without you guys. We love your support and your energy. You guys give us feedback and we appreciate that. So please continue to do so. Like, subscribe, and comment at the Black Creators Club. You guys can always email us with any leads and any stories at theblackcreatorsclub@gmail.com. You guys, you can find us on Spotify. You can find us on iTunes, on YouTube. You can find us all over Instagram. So please continue to do that. And we love you guys. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, thank you. And, like we said at the top of the show, we'll talk about everything Black, everything creators, everything entertainment, and that means hot topics as well. Let's talk about our 2 cents. There's so much that happened in this short amount of time amongst our people.
Girl,
we got to bring a lot of people to the front of the altar. We got to bring a lot of people to justice. Let's start with Masika.
Girl.
Let's start with Masika and UMC child. This lady wanted to be, how can I introduce this? I'm just kind of like, she wanted to be pardoned for pretending to be kidnapped for a show about sex trafficking that.
In lingerie, let's not forget.
In lingerie. And trying to direct folks to her OnlyFans. There's so many levels to what the F were you thinking, girl? And why did you think this was the way to get your coins? And why did you think anyone would snap and say, yes, thank you so much for publicizing our show, for publicizing Rose organization, because you did neither in a good light. It's just like, what's going on? What's going on?
Akila, there was so much going on. Like, when I saw the video, I was really confused. I was like, what's happening? She's in her lingerie, like with set makeup on, acting like she's getting kidnapped. And then saying, I guess it was supposedly to support her OnlyFans page, right? That she was then going to, whoever donated was going to give that money to the Rose organization that helps support sex trafficking, or like child sex trafficking. So she was going to give the money from her OnlyFans to that organization that she's already teamed up with. Okay.
Girl, what happened to GoFundMe? What happened to PayPal? What happened to Venmo? What was the reason to funnel that through your OnlyFans page? She probably was like, kill 2 birds, 1 stone, but I'm like, no, that is what made it just turn for. There's so many elements, but I think that was the kind of that nail in the coffin situation. It was like, girl, we see you,
right?
We don't like what we're seeing.
And so then the Rose organization came out with a statement and basically like, we do not support this message. We did not tell her to do this. No, not only that, we are not going to be accepting any money from OnlyFans. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like, this is not happening. And then she was on her set for the show. What was the show?
Double Cross.
Mm-hmm. Okay. They have now released her, but apparently her team is saying that they have not heard that they've been released. I think this is to save some face. Okay.
You've heard it like everyone else on Instagram. You've heard it. They've released the statement.
Girl.
They said it. I'm trying to figure out, when did Rose organization officially deny it? Because I know this, her skit came out a little bit ago at this point. So did Rose immediately deny it or immediately condemn it? And that's why I'm kind of like feeling a little shady with them too, because you saw what was happening. You saw what she was doing. You waited until the folks reacted and then now you deny it? Or did you say it immediately after you saw the post and you were like, okay, no, this wasn't it. This wasn't what we asked for. So I don't know if they're 100% innocent, but I think, they're obviously clearly more in the right, but I'm like, would you have been okay if, the backlash wasn't so long standing, like a week or so? Because she posted, she didn't just post this yesterday. She posted this a while ago at this point.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good question and good. Yeah. It's a good question. However, I do feel like as an organization, as a company, as a business, right? Like you always have to hear cues from, like, not only should you stand on your own, but you also have to hear cues from other people. So I feel like, and probably there was like a discussion behind the scenes that was happening, right? Like, did you guys see this video? We saw this video. What do you guys want to do about it? This. And us on the internet, we'd be out here reacting super fast. So
ready to react.
So maybe they released a statement when they had their PR team together to release the statement. But, maybe they already made the decision, a day or two after she posted it. There's always so many things that happen like on the corporate side of things. And they have to make sure like their image is correct, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen, Masika, girl.
Let's figure this out. And I mean, I'm sad you lost the gig. That sounded like it could have been a good opportunity for you. And I'm sure there's going to be others. But I think, you know,
but
you
that's
gotta think about the topic. You gotta think about the topic.
See, this is my problem with Masika. Like, I've watched her on Love and Hip Hop, so I know her energy. And my problem with her is she does what she wants to do, right? She doesn't think about it twice. I think on reality TV, you can do those sort of things because that gets you attention and people are interested in you just acting crazy and being wild. But when you're on a set with an organization and a name behind it with a message, like, you have to really, you're representing that, not you. You're not representing yourself at this point. So you need to represent that. And I don't think she understands that. And I'm not saying, you know, I think she has maybe acted in a few other things beforehand. So maybe she does, she has some experience. However, I'm just kind of like, that's something that you just should have known then at that point not to do that. And so
not to do it. Just
because your name is a little bit bigger now doesn't mean that you still get to do what you want to do. Jennifer Aniston doesn't get to come in and promote OnlyFans and lingerie. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she's not doing
for
it,
a sex trafficking show.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if that's who you want to be and the level you want to get to, no.
Beyonce isn't coming in singing about, you know, shaking my ass and then here's, you know, sex trafficking. Like, she's not doing that. So Beyonce's not doing it, honey. You don't need to be doing it. Done.
There it is. Just like that. And, you know, that's it with Masika. Now, the next thing, let's talk about verses. Let's talk about The Boy Is Mine, Brandy and Monica. Literally, I'm so ready. It's airing tomorrow on Instagram as well as Apple Music. And they'll be talking about, obviously, singing their show, singing their songs, everything. And Monica mentioned that she might talk about, you know, discuss the feud and what really happened between Brandy and Monica. She mentioned it's nothing serious, but at the same time, they'll finally address it because I feel like that's what kind of brought them together. That's what I think helped propel The Boy Is Mine. Obviously, it's an amazing song. Got them their one and only Grammy with that. But like, at the same time, I'm excited for them to at least address it finally, especially since Monica is the one that punched Brandy in the face, allegedly. So yeah, can we talk about it?
Let's talk about it.
Yes, at the MTV, apparently at the backstage of the MTV Awards, I forget what year this was. I don't know what happened, what altercation, but Monica punched Brandy, and their publicist or their managers at the time denied it. But then years later, what's his name? Dallas Austin. He said, yeah, that's actually what happened. And so now we're like, oh, so there was actually something. You know, everyone was trying to deny it. Obviously, if I was Brandy, I was like, that never happened. I still would be like, that never happened. Nobody punched me. Nope. That never happened. But apparently it did. So I'm excited to see if she's going to address that or if it's really going to just say, oh, this is all for the tabloids.
Yeah, no, she's probably not going to address it. Well, I was reading a little bit of the story too on the Shade Room, and basically she was kind of like, we've let all the, you know, messiness, the dramatics go, and basically Monica was saying that it was kind of like something that was small, like it started off as maybe a little jealousy, a little boy, a little whatever, and because of the media and everyone else kind of feuding it became a bigger thing, and then they were like, yeah, we started to actually believe what was happening and what was being said in the tabloids. So she kind of was like, you know, like it was past us, we're over it now. However,
especially when they weren't friends. It's one of those things that's like, you hear someone talking about you or saying these things are bad and you never were cool with them in the first place. I think that would spark that rift too. It's like, well, we weren't friends. We were working in the same industry. We sang a song together, but we weren't friends. And so this on top of that, I'm sure made it a thing. But so I'm ready to get my entire life. I'm ready to get my entire life tomorrow. I think it's going to be so good. Yeah, what song The Boy Is Mine, but I don't know. Who are you rooting for? Is it Monica or Brandy?
Ooh, that's a tough one. See, this is my thing. I love both girls, and I would say my fandom is at an equalness with both of them, right? So like when every time the beat dropped by Monica, like that was my jam. Okay, that was my, I don't know if you know that song with them Franchise Boys, that was my jam.
Every time the beat dropped.
Okay, that was my jam. But Brandy has some really good ones too, though.
I'm gonna say, listen, 1, 2, 3 is Brandy all day.
What am I blanking? What is that song? Why am I blanking? What is her song? It's the slow R&B. Come on, give it to me. You know it. You know it.
I know.
Come on, what is it?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm sure it's there.
Now you got me looking it up. Now you about to have me looking it up.
Let's see.
Because Brandy, she has such good ones. Okay. I Want to Be Down. That's the one I was talking about. She has that one with Chris Brown that I love. Shoot, hold on.
Just all of Never Say Never. Literally just play that and literally play the full album and we will be ready. I think she's got it. I think she's got it in the bag, to be honest. I feel like
Ready? That song, Ready? I think I know more Brandy songs low-key than Monica.
Yes. But Monica's got the edge that you want in a performer, but at the same time, Brandy, just vocals alone. I'm like, if we're just singing, we're just sitting down, I think she's got it, and it's gonna be glorious regardless. They're two amazing artists, but
you know what's funny? Every time I watch a Versus, there's always songs that come up, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know I forgot about that song. So I know I'm gonna be on the Versus tomorrow talking about, girl, I'm gonna text you and keep talking about, girl, look, maybe Monica got this in the bag. I forgot she had these jams. Okay.
Yes, we shall see. I don't know, but we talking about old feuds. But there's also some old regrets, honey, that's come out this week with Toni Braxton saying that she regrets not having more sex when she was younger and not partying more, and blaming her religious beliefs and her religious background as the reason as to why she didn't do the things she wanted to do. I think sis should have left that out of the papers and just came to the family circle, talked about it with Birdman, whoever, but I didn't think this needed to be something that was said. Is it a midlife crisis? Is it something happening? I'm not entirely sure, but she said that she regrets it, and it's never too late, but she does say that she regrets it.
You know what? Girl, I'm gonna have to disagree. Listen, I feel like go ahead and speak your truth, girl, because I feel like that could help somebody else out here in these streets. Okay, I feel like
help them spread that WAP around the thing. What are we doing? What are we helping? What are you helping me by telling me you regret and blaming it on your religion, girl? We're not here for that.
But what I'm saying is maybe if you really take the sex out of it, right? Maybe she's just saying that she maybe could have just experienced life a little bit more. Maybe she was too conservative. Maybe she said no to some things that she could have said yes and no to, or should have said yes to, right? I'm not saying do drugs. It's not what I'm saying. Ebony is not saying that. I'm not saying out here and have 10 sexual partners a night. I'm not saying that either, okay?
Unless that's what you want.
If that's the life you live, honey, go on and get it how you live.
Be safe.
Get it how you live. But what I'm saying is maybe her message was more or less like, I was so conservative in my life growing up, being an artist. I, didn't go out. I chose not to go to like the producers' parties. I chose not to experience those doors that were open for me because of my religious background, right? So maybe she's just saying she would have had a little bit more fun, and fun could mean a lot of things. Okay. So
that is my issue with it. That's my issue with it, because she's defining fun as this grass is always greener on the other side type of thing. Like, versus grass is always greener where you water it. Like, that's just what it is. So I feel like her defining fun as more sex and parties. Yes, you probably did miss out. You probably did miss out on a lot of things. But at the same time, I'm like, you're still young, you're still doing your thing, you're still out there. It's never too late to live your life. And I think blaming it on religion and blaming it, and just even saying like, I wasted everything. It's kind of one of those things where I'm like, girl, but you know what are we going to do with this information?
I have to say, like, saying that you wanted to have more sex, like, okay, like maybe it's just, I don't know her life. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I don't think you missed out on anything. Like, I think whatever your sexual partner life is like, I think it was fine. And I don't think that you should have more or less. Yeah. I feel like, with sex comes a lot of extra emotional stuff, comes a lot of things that, what? Sometimes it's okay to leave alone. Like that sex really opens a whole nother door of things in personal relationships. So I don't feel like having more sex would have solved or helped anything necessarily, like awakened inside of you. And to think, and to even on that, little Duvall, of course, now he stay in the comments, y'all.
Gotta comment.
He stay in the comments. It's ridiculous. So basically, he said, he left a comment under her picture and said, girl, you still 50, you still fine, you in your prime, you ain't got to worry about no babies, you ain't got to worry about no diseases except hepatitis with these old men. He said stay away from the youngins and live your best life. And I was thinking about,
I don't see the problem.
I mean, you could do that, but what about your man? Isn't she engaged? Or they broke
But that is what I'm thinking is the issue. I'm like, do you not want to be engaged? Well, we got to figure out, because I actually don't know if she's engaged or if she's just dating Birdman still, or what's her situation, what's her relationship status.
They were engaged and then she lost her ring. Remember,
is that what you're really saying? Is that this, or do you feel a level of that you're settling? Because, you know, I think that kind of feeling may happen, let's say, with folks who had only one partner in their life and they've hearing all these stories about folks being out and about and doing their thing. And you're like, oh, should I have done this more? Should I have done whatever? Like, I get it. But at the same time, if you're with a person and you're talking like that, as the person, I'll be like, wait, what's happening over here? What's going on? Are we not living our life the way we need to? So I don't know if it's probably cold feet. It's probably cold feet. But I think regardless, take that to Braxton family values. Have a conversation with your sisters and your parents, and you know, go from there.
Yeah, I think I need more on the story. Like, what exactly do you feel like you missed? Because I feel like you have a son, and you know, I feel like, you know, you've dated a few people, so I'm like, I think you had more than one sexual partner. So what is the problem?
What's going on? Probably there's a special someone or a few people out there that she's like, oh, if only I went there. Maybe this whole thing would have been different. Who knows? We don't know. But I think she's probably directing that energy. That probably was a subtweet, and we're taking that to mean that's her life. Maybe.
Go ahead.
What do y'all think about this? I'm trying to figure this out. A little subtweet. I think that's what happened. But we'll see. We'll see. It's going to develop, and I think she might say something else to either backpedal or double down on what she's saying. So we'll see. We'll definitely talk about it. The last thing really is just the fact that the VMAs are coming out. I mean, or going live tomorrow. We got our girl Keke Palmer hosting. Congrats to her. I think she's awesome. So I'm glad that she'll be doing her thing, and I hope it goes well tomorrow. But I can't tell you personally the last time I seriously watched from start to finish the VMAs. Like now I like kind of jump in with clips. I'm like, yeah, are you about it? I'm like, I would jump in on what's the highlights. Okay, let me see how you're doing. Let me see that performance. Start to finish VMAs. I might do it for Keke, but
I personally am someone who loves to watch the VMAs. I think for me it's hard to catch up on the clips because there's a lot of performances that aren't full out there, or you know, the internet gets on it and starts talking crazy about performance, and I'm like, where do I find it? Where can I see it? And it's hard to like see the full thing. So I like to just watch it just to be in the know. Plus I love to see who's going to perform, who's going to be. True. You know, the fact that this year it's going to be virtual, I think that'll be something interesting. But you know, what was this? Oh my gosh, I'm blinking today. I'm sorry, you guys. I think it was the BET Awards that was virtual.
Yes, and they started the trend. And they did it. They did it so well.
But it was bomb. It was really good. I was like, I almost low-key might even prefer this to live. It was like everyone had their own music video for like their performances, and they were different. It wasn't just like, it was like something they had to go shoot and like be ready for the performance. And then, you know, I loved it. So I was like, okay, so I'm excited for the VMAs. I hope they bring it. I hope VH1, y'all bring it, or MTV, right? I hope MTV, y'all bring it like BET did, because that was fire. Like they did such a good job. So I'm so excited to watch the VMAs.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I mean, when y'all tell us who wins, y'all tell me, or you would tell me who wins.
Yeah, I'm going to take notes for you.
I'll jump in. Tell me what's going on, but I'm definitely going to see Keke's intro at least to be like, okay, girl, let's see how you start this whole thing up. I'm excited for her. But we talked about so much today. Your girls got range. We've got range. We talked about Chadwick. We talked about, you know, Black Lives Matter. everything that's happening with these hot topics so much today. And we thank you guys for listening all the way through it. Thanks for joining us at the Clubhouse, and I hope you enjoyed it. And next week we'll have bigger and better episodes for you as we do, as we're getting this thing ramped up. But before we go, Ebony, tell us where they can find you.
Yes, you guys, please follow me on Instagram at EbonyChapman12. My Twitter is the same. I'm more active on Insta, but we got the Twitter too, so you can follow me on there as well.
Yes, girl. And you guys can follow me at Akila Friend. Again, I'm going to keep saying it. Friend with 2 Fs, your best friend, 2 Fs. Think about it. On all social media handles, mainly on Instagram as well. Like we're just visual people. And make sure that you follow the Black Creators Club. We post our clips, we post insights, we do things about Hollywood and things that are happening. So it's at the Black Creators Club, again, on Instagram, Twitter, all the good stuff. But thank you so much again, and see you next week.